Okay. Close enough. We'll figure it out in post. So I guess just shoot it. Do a quick intro.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do a quick intro. So, welcome to BLT on Rye. I believe that's the final decided upon title. I am your titular L.
Your titular B.
And I don't know what the fuck titular means, but I'm Tori.
Like, in relation to the title.
No,
so
it was a
L
joke.
in the title.
It was a joke. Now you ruined my hilarious joke.
I figured you would go with, like, some sort of tit-euler sort of pun.
That's valid. I am the only one with tits, so...
Yeah, I mean, like, you have to carry the weight of that joke. We don't get to do that.
And I'm your titillating host.
I also do. I just shouldn't.
And I'm the hostess with the mostest.
So I'm Luke. That's Benny, and that one is Tori. And
it sounds like you're pointing at us, but no. But
yeah, I was pointing, even though I can't see or know where you're at. Like, one of you's generally that way, one of you's generally that way, but very far away.
I could not tell you which direction y'all are in. I'm literally
so.
You can.
It's coronavirus lockdown. We're trapped in our homes. The rioters are looting the streets, and
okay, no, Luke, you're looting. Everyone else is just fine.
Yeah. That's what I call looting when I go to Giant Eagle and pick up some salad mix.
Your pre-made salad.
It feels dirty.
With the low-fat dressing.
What was that?
I don't know who you're talking to.
You. I heard a blurb.
Oh, I was laughing. Just picturing you, like, with your tattoo and your, like, metal, like, garb and, like, shaved
like
under.
Looking full Mad Max, walking into Giant Eagle and, like,
and
put
getting,
things
like,
in a cart.
A pre-made salad with, like, low-fat dressing and being like, yeah.
I got the light-calorie buttermilk ranch dressing, yes. Could have got, like, oil and vinegar if I was really going for it, but still, I opted for the low-calorie dressing. So anyway, we were told. I was told that now is the time where we have to buckle down and not end up making a podcast, especially if you were a under 35 white man, which of course I am, and Benny is. Tori's like 2/3. So we made a podcast.
Yeah, in a similar vein, last week my mom sent me this thing that was like, whatever you do, don't panic and dye your hair. So I also dyed my hair. I'm just on a streak of being told not to do things. Like, not go out. And then I went out drinking last night with some friends.
That sounds like how we generally live our lives.
Yeah, that's...
I'm a strict rule follower.
That's true. Benny is a little on the safe side.
Okay, so
I'm gonna turn my air conditioner off. It's gonna make a lot of noise.
Oh, I can't even hear it.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
So what we decided to do was, we're gonna be inside watching movies and TV and listening to stuff anyway. Might as well trade some bits of media, talk about it in a very wry fashion of humor, which I literally was just reminded is a word. So that's
and that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Rye bread.
It's hilarious, and I like to think whatever hero came up with it.
Yes, whoever this unnamed person may be.
It was me.
So, does anyone want to talk about one in particular? Well, let's say what we did. I gave you guys an EP
I think
to
we
listen
should talk
to.
about the fact that I think we all have generally pretty different tastes.
Oh, yeah, that's true. What's your background for taste-wise, Tori? How would you describe your...
So I grew up in Wyoming, so I've also listened to a bunch of, like, bluegrass and country music, grew up, like, Western culture, but now I'm in New York, and I'm, like, musical theater, but also party girl. LOL, I'm so hungover right now. I'm dying. And so my tastes go a little bit all over the place, but they don't really interact with either of your tastes. Benny's maybe a little bit, but not as much Luke.
It's 2:30 in the afternoon. How are you still hungover?
I just woke up and I was awake until 7 a.m.
Oh, Christ. Yeah, I'm not that party girl. My tastes, I mean, musically skew incredibly heavily towards metal, but, like, got a little hip-hop in there, a little, eclectic random shit, but not too much. Like, if you're like, oh, you like jazz? It's like, I know a jazz album, but beyond that. I mean, like, I grew up listening to country music, and my dad also listened to jazz, but, like, I never picked up too much of it. Yeah, for movies and TV, I don't have much of a taste. Like, nothing in particular. Benjamin?
I guess because did we all say where we grew up? I grew up in the suburbs, so of course I like that sweet suburban music of emo. Tends to be my biggest musical taste. I also love rap and hip hop, and I know a little country. I guess I also know, like, Bruce Springsteen and that dad rock kind of era.
Dad rock.
In terms of movies and TV, I'm very pretentious. That is my taste, is pretension. You come to hate me.
So I feel like they both started off pretty simple with their recommendations, and I made them watch a full musical.
Yeah, so tell us about the musical.
Okay, so it's a StarKid production, and StarKid was an improv musical theater group. I want to say based in Chicago. But they did the Harry Potter musical, which was a big hit, and then a Harry Potter sequel.
I didn't realize that's who this was.
Yeah.
Did a little research.
And so I had them watch one of my personal favorites, which is The Trail to Oregon, which is based off of the video game The Oregon Trail.
Loosely, I might add.
I mean, it's got all of the bits there. Did you know that
It does.
So the guy who plays the dad wrote it.
He did say that in the musical.
Yes. I didn't know if you caught it, though. I didn't catch it my first time watching it.
Well, I have a question.
Yes.
Would we call this improv?
No. So they moved away. I think they do less improv now, and then they write shows, and they perform these shows.
They did take suggestions from the audience up top.
Right, but I wouldn't call that improv, because it was less, we're taking this from the audience and running with it, and it was more Mad Libs.
Yeah, it was far more Mad Libs.
There was one other decision the audience got to make, but we'll get to that because that's the end.
That's true.
But Benny, what did you pass off to us?
I don't know if it's an EP or...
I'd call it an EP. It was songs long. None of them were
how they officially classify it, but the EP, Yeah, No, I Know, by the band Macseal.
Is that how you say that? A Macseal?
Yes. They are a sort of emo group from, I want to say they're from Boston. I talked to them once after a show, and I want to say we talked about the Red Sox. So that leads me to believe they are from Boston. And they're sort of, I would call them a hybrid of sort of Midwestern emo and math rock.
Okay. And then I gave you guys a noise rock EP by the group Chat Pile, This Dungeon Earth. They're from Oklahoma, and the name comes from a pile of chat, which is like the refuse from some sort of mining operation. I might be getting that way wrong, but it's basically like a pile of chemical sludge, and they have a lot of those in Oklahoma, where they're from. Not all of Oklahoma, of course. Well, maybe. I've never been to Oklahoma nor spoken to anyone from Oklahoma. It might just be a toxic sludge pile, and every Oklahoman is a Toxic Avenger-esque mutant person.
That feels alright.
Can't say I've never met one. Well, let's go back, because we were already on the trail to Oregon. We were getting into it. So I've got some notes here. It's just those 6 people that were doing the production?
Yes. Well, I mean, and their band.
Right. So the interaction that they had was that you get to name all the characters like you do in Oregon Trail. But that was basically the extent of it, right? Like, you pick the name, and then there's a couple times they bring up the name. You mention the character.
I have a very important question.
Okay.
There's another line that...
Because I know Tori often has very big pop culture blind spots. Do you know where the name Jack Bauer comes from?
Yes, 24.
Okay.
Do you...
The whole time I was watching, I was thinking, is this a reference she got?
Tori, do you only know Jack Bauer because they reference it on My Brother and Me?
The advice show for the modern era? Sorry, Modern?
Yes.
No, actually, it used to be one of the shows that would come on when I was sick at home.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, question.
What?
So the writing was... I enjoyed the Trail to Oregon very much for the first half.
We're calling the first half.
Like Act 1.
Okay.
There was an act... Whenever the daughter got kidnapped was when they switched to Act 2.
Okay.
Once it started getting a little serious. Like, it was... started with, dick jokes, and the kid's name's Crap Hole and Mouth Face, and mom's... The mom was Slippery When Wet. Dad was Jack Bauer, and Grandpa was...
Titty Mitty.
What was that?
Titty Mitty.
Titty Mitty. Right, and then...
And that's just their recorded one. So they were
right. It can be anything for any given show.
I don't know if you got so their last name that was given, Dick Rats, is StarKid backwards.
Well, I have to type this out because I can't think that well. StarKid's Dick Rats. Okay.
I hope the sound of you typing is also being
recorded. It sure is. This keyboard's loud as hell.
Yeah,
I really added to the bit.
Okay, I thought it was just a, name the characters, ass, button munch, and whatever.
Yeah, well,
as you would do for Oregon Trail, of course.
What I'm assuming happened is one of 2 scenarios for that one is that it was either like a diehard fan of like StarKids, and they were like, "This is funny."
Is that a reference they make? Like they've made mention that the name backwards is Dick Rats?
I'm probably.
Yeah.
Or it was something happened with their recording of that section. No, that's probably not it. Just kidding. Yeah, I think it's the first one. Okay. But that was just a fun fact, is that the last name for that show was StarKids backwards.
I'm sure it would have made the production much more difficult to do, but whenever they got to the point like, hey, we're the family, you get to name us, I was like, oh shit, this is like a live musical version of playing Oregon Trail. This is going to be cool. They're going to get to a river, and it's like, what do we do? And then you pick Ford the River or do this other thing, and they sing a different song or a different verse, depending on what you do.
I also thought that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I thought maybe there was maybe a curtain behind them, and I thought, oh, the curtain's going to come down, and we're going to see a screen that has Oregon Trail and the names are going to be already put in. Like somebody with a computer, like entering all this, and they're going to make choices and kind of improv. Like that's what the improv will be based around. But that did not happen.
No, it's much less improv and much more like theater. It's just like a show you go to, and then you do get to pick the names and stuff. But
so, Tori, you are in school for
chiropractic, right?
Chiropractic. What exactly is your major?
So I'm at the Stella Adler Studio of Acting, trying to learn to be a professional actress.
Okay.
Yeah.
You interact with a lot of musical theater types?
Yeah, a fair amount.
Would you say 99 or 100% of them have a strained relationship with their mother, because every single musical that I end up seeing ends up being a mother and daughter having a strained relationship and like coming to terms with it, and it just feels very like I'm going to work through this by making a musical out of
All right, with the pointed questions.
it.
Some real gotcha journalism.
See, I have a great relationship with my mom. We were literally just texting.
I know you do. You sound like you great relationship with your mother, and she seems very nice. But like, I'm trying to think of the musical. A couple of them that Liz, my sister, likes. Next to Normal, it's like the mother and daughter are always fighting. It just feels very. Oh, right. This is the fight that the teenage daughter who wrote this musical had with her mother when she was 15, and mom was like, you can't go out. Don't go out wearing that, or you can't go to prom with them, or clean your room, or something.
Next to Normal was written by men, and it's about mental illness.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just informed that Next to Normal was written by men and is about mental illness.
True.
From the voice down my stairs.
That was Liz, the official BLT on Ride fact checker.
Like that weird relationship. I don't want to say weird relationship dynamic. The relationship dynamic that every teenage daughter has with their mother shows up a lot in musicals. Is that a fair assessment?
I mean, yeah. There's also things like Dear Evan Hansen, where it's the son and his mom who have a weird relationship.
The weird relationship in Rent.
All of it.
Yeah, I would say there's a whole song about, I mean, not parental, but the Tango Maureen is about an ex-lover and a current lover comparing, like, traits from the woman that they're both seeing, or they were seeing.
We've exhausted all of my musical theater now.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a musical theater person. I've been exposed to plenty of them through Liz, but I just never got into them.
My roommate has a true and wholesome love for Stephen Joshua Sondheim. Our Wi-Fi is called You Must Meet My Wi-Fi. We made a list of things we wanted to like do during the quarantine, and it's called Door Rings, Bell Chimes, In Comes Quarantine.
Yes, the musical references
I get.
That's
I understand company. These.
Door rings, bell chimes, in comes company. And our Wi-Fi password is Sondheim85 in honor of the Sondheim 85th birthday concert.
Were you at the live taping of this Trail to Oregon? Because someone in the audience really gave a shit when they mentioned Wisconsin.
I'm not from Wisconsin.
That is about where you're from.
No, it's not. I'm from Wyoming.
That's pretty much the same idea.
And no, I was not there. I wish I was there. I want to
don't know geography well. I don't think Wyoming and Wisconsin are close.
They're really not. Wisconsin is up by y'all.
In my mind, just the kind of north middle section of the country is all kind of just one conglomerated cornfield.
I mean, that's valid.
But Wisconsin does have cheese, and you have potatoes.
No, that's Idaho. We have
That's all kind of the same thing, right?
We don't really have anything.
Mm.
We got horses and cows.
Oh, well, that's nice.
In Wyoming, there's 2 cows for every person, I want to say. Maybe it's 3.5.
I thought that sentence ended at the word cows, which there were 2 cows, and I was going to say, wow, what are their names? They seem important and popular if they only keep 2 of them.
Oh. Yeah, it's about 2 cows for every people. Yeah, it's 2.18 cows per person in Wyoming. There is a thing online that will tell you.
Oh, like Wikipedia or a site that is so you can find out how many cows per person there are?
Beeftolive.com.
Oh, okay. So the second thing that I was making a joke out of.
What's the normal cow to person ratio of a state?
I mean, what would you consider a normal state, though? Because if someone said the human to cow ratio in Florida was like 1, I would be blown away. That seemed crazy to me. But
What I think about it, outside every city is just
farm, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that 1.8 is high, but I'm going to Google United States cow per person. Oh, they have it ranked. Well, South Dakota has a wildly cattle-heavy skew. 4.3 cows per human. New Jersey is practically 0. Same with Rhode Island.
Makes sense because they're smaller.
Yeah, not a lot of room for cows. Huh. Well, this is a
Riveting discussion.
riveting conversation. Back to the trail to Oregon. Yeah, like I said, about halfway through, when they hit the halfway point, kind of lost me. I was all on board for the dick jokes and the goofy fun while still maintaining somewhat of a plot. And it got very serious, and I was like, oh, I'm not really having much fun anymore. I'm kind of just this isn't the mindless fun that I had envisioned, but maybe that's just me with poor expectations.
I guess I sort of felt similar in that I thought I was going to see improv, and then I saw like a staged production, and it was just like a weird, shift. Only for me, though.
Yeah, like there was a tension building up, and like when's the release? When are we gonna get involved? When do we get to help make the jokes? And you don't. Of course, we obviously don't because we're on YouTube watching it. But when does the audience get involved?
Well, at the end.
So there were a lot of the jokes that I very much enjoyed. The hunting joke. Still saw that coming from a mile away, but it was like, oh, this is gonna be good. Which, if you haven't watched it, the sun,
which is a role that I want to play so bad. If anybody ever does Trail to Oregon, please cast me as the sun.
But the sun crap hole explains to everyone how he interacts with new things, which is usually pick them up, wiggle them around a bit, and then put them in his mouth and go from there.
And if that thing doesn't jump out of my mouth, it goes down the hatch. I put a scorpion in my mouth the other day. That guy jumped right out. I respect him for it.
I respect that.
He played the rules.
But then they go hunting and hand the kid the gun without explaining how that works, and immediately goes to put the barrel in his mouth and everyone. I like the ox. Acting from the ox was fantastic.
Joey Richter is absolutely incredible. He plays Ron Weasley in the Harry Potter musicals.
Mm-hmm. Was he also the Bandit King, or was the dad Bandit King?
Yeah, no, he was the Bandit King. He played. So okay. The role is called Everybody Else.
Oh, okay. So it's just the family of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Grandpa played Cletus.
Cletus Jones. It is reprehensible the way you speak about women. I'm not going to steal anything from them. I'm just going to take their daughter from my child Brad. Women are things. Cletus Jones. It is reprehensible the way you talk about women.
That was pretty good. But like, that's what I'm saying. I think like to the second half of the musical, I lost that. There was less of that, and that was the part that I liked.
I did like, there was the scene where the dad confronts
the wagon salesman.
Yeah, I like that scene.
Oh, I like when the wagon salesman goes to sing his part and it's kind of voice cracks, doesn't hit the note, and then explains how. Like I was in a community production of West Side Story, it was big fish, little pond sort of scenario, but I was proud.
That was the other part. He ad-libbed that every night. I don't know if you could see the daughter cat like cracking up behind him.
Yeah, I saw them laughing. I didn't know if that was like he just threw that in that time.
No, he ad-libbed something different every night apparently.
That was pretty solid.
I liked their Mike's Hard Lemonade jokes.
Yeah.
Well, let me give.
Are you trying to get a 7-year-old child drunk? Oh, no, sir. On Mike's Hard Lemonade? No way. There's only enough alcohol to make it taste like shitty lemonade.
So, a brief overview of the trailer. They're going to Oregon. It's the dad, mom, son, daughter, and grandpa. And they go to the first town, and they meet the Bandit King, and he falls in love with the daughter and decides to make her his child bride. But so then they're going to Oregon, and he got like a shitty wagon, he got a weird, horny ox.
The mutant ox. Put the food in the hole where his mouth should be.
And then they're going. Bunch of stuff happens. The daughter gets kidnapped by the Bandit King. The mom is like, I'm gonna leave you, takes the son, and then the dad gets a better wagon, gets them. They do a speed run, they go get their daughter back. And then they finally get to Oregon, blah blah blah. My other favorite part is Grandpa and the lobsters.
The whole time I was like, okay, this weird non sequitur lobster joke that they keep going back to. I get it. Kind of also random for me, but okay. And then he comes out in the lobster outfit, and I'm like, oh, okay. There's the payoff. It did feel a little like they had a lobster costume lying around, and we're like, we want to work this in somehow. We want to get this in here. How do we get this in here?
Okay, but also, if you were writing a musical and you had a lobster costume, wouldn't you be like...
Oh, exactly. I've done that before so many times. That's 100% me.
It's the Robert Rodriguez theory of writing. Just whatever you have, that's what you use.
I did enjoy the lobster back joke. Like, it was like, oh, that's a random history pull. Okay. What else? Oh, so the finale, I mean, spoilers, we've kind of gone through the whole show, but, and if you're listening to a podcast about talking about media, you should expect spoilers. But spoilers, the end of the podcast, the end of the musical, they get to the state line to Oregon, and there's a health inspector there who determines that one of them has dysentery, and the audience votes on who has dysentery. Now, from the YouTube video, I think you're supposed to be able to click on each of the people, and they record a different night where each of the people dies.
Yes.
And you get to watch that. I did not have the ability to do that. I looked around and I tried, and I couldn't figure it out.
So you didn't watch the ending?
No, I did not.
You missed...
So
I picked an ending.
I guess I lied when I said, yes, I have completed both of the things that you guys provided.
Benny, who did you choose to die?
I chose Grandpa because that seemed to make the most sense. I also wonder, I did not watch any of the others. And I also kind of fast-forwarded a bit.
How long was that bit? Did I miss a significant portion?
15 minutes.
Oh, okay, so I did miss a significant portion.
Yes, so you
It ends with them skinny dipping.
Oh,
they get naked in a lake.
I wonder, do they all end with that?
Yeah, so whoever you choose, they sing the same song. You gotta go when you gotta go, and it's just them like, it's literally one of them. You can see Joey Richter in the corner making fart noises on his arm. he just, like, sits in the corner of the stage and just, like, blows raspberries onto his arm at, like, different points, and then the person dying in the song, like, reacts with that.
As if they were soiling themselves as they died. Because dysentery.
The best, my favorite part of that one is, when, at some point they go, okay, I've got a second wind, pick me up, and then, like, he makes, like, a really loud one, and they go, oh, no, put me down! And then the conclusion is the son, the whole time anybody, like, asks about anything, is, he wants to go get naked in a lake, wants to go skinny dipping, and he finally gets a song, come on, buddy, the water's just fine. And so they all strip down, and they pretend to swim. He gets his happy ending.
I was hoping there was payoff for that, and I completely forgot about it by the end.
All right. It also seems like, again, like an illusion of choice.
Yeah, I mean, if the song is the same every time, and the musical is the same, but I think that also might just be our expectations going in.
Yeah, I mean, they do have different lines depending on, like, if one of the kids dies, I think the mom goes, like, who would choose children? Like, what kind of heartless bastard?
Yeah.
Because the audience
I did like when the dad got the fourth wall breaking moments like that, where the dad got really high on snake venom and saw the audience as, like, a great thousand-eyed monster.
The Watchers!
Oh, they're hideous! Oh, my God! Yeah.
Yes, so... ending thoughts, did y'all like it? Would you watch more StarKid?
Overall, I enjoyed it. I don't think I would watch more StarKid, not specifically, like, if I was into musicals, I would watch more StarKid.
I would say a pretty similar answer of, not that I did not enjoy it, but it's certainly not for me.
I think if I was into musicals, like, this would be my shit, but I'm just not. I don't know.
It's fair. One of their
should get into musicals.
One of their new ones is called The Man Who Didn't Like Musicals.
I saw that, and I was like, I swear if we make reference to that, because that's probably... Let me second guess the plot. There's a man who doesn't like musicals, but his whole life is becoming a musical during the course of the musical, and he tries to escape it, but he cannot, and eventually accepts.
I actually couldn't tell you. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, okay. Well, gotta watch it and report back.
Okay. Honestly, it's on my list of things to watch. That one and Firebringer I haven't seen yet.
Well, we have plenty of time, because lockdown!
That's true. I also haven't watched My Dick and Me, which is apparently super funny. It's about a guy whose penis comes to life.
Oh.
Or Me and My Dick. And, like, I think the dick is played by Joey Richter, maybe?
How anthropomorphized is this situation?
Well, I think he's in, like, a big pink suit. Like a morph suit.
Oh, I kind of really dig that idea, but...
Yeah, the other one I like by them is, I mean, I haven't found one that I don't like, but, they do Twisted, which is,
a musical based on the ICP group.
No.
Correct? I was gonna get Twitter.
No, it's, Aladdin, but from Jafar's perspective, so it's like Wicked, where, you know, the Wicked Witch of the West is the good guy, but Jafar is, like, the good guy and is just trying to save the kingdom, and everybody's like, fuck you, Jafar. They literally have a song about, fuck you, Jafar.
Which is interesting, because the Wicked Witch, like, I can see how that could be turned, because someone just shows up to her house and murders her sister in cold blood and then takes her things, and it's like, I can see how we can flip this around. What is Jafar doing that, like saving the kingdom, but how? To what end is that?
So spoilers for Twisted. Is that...
Go ahead.
Spoilers for Twisted.
In their version, Jafar's wife, the Sultan, who's an idiot, decides to take her for one of his concubines from him, but their running joke is that the Sultan at one point took his finger and put it into his penis, and now it is inside out, and it's not come back down. But she's pregnant, and so everybody's like, oh, it's the Sultan's kid, but it's actually Jafar's, and so Jasmine is Jafar's kid. And he, didn't know it.
Wait, doesn't he try to marry her in Aladdin? Or is it just he kidnaps her?
That's a good question.
I don't think I've seen Aladdin.
It's been a hot minute since I've seen it, but he definitely kidnaps her to some end.
Yeah, I think...
Although I guess you could just be like, in Twisted, he kidnaps her, but not to marry her. It just looks like that.
Yeah.
Although, yeah.
It's very good. Aladdin is played by the dad in the Trail to Oregon, and he's literally like an idiot. He tries to get her with subliminal messaging. He's like, God, you're so beautiful. Sleep with me. Oh, man, the stars are so beautiful. Sleep with me. Wow, look at the night. Sleep with me.
He sounds so much like Jim Carrey. I couldn't get over it in a couple parts where he was saying, I was like, oh my god, they should do a, I was going to pick a good Jim Carrey movie, but I can't think of one.
Mask.
Do a Mask musical.
I think there is a Mask musical.
Tell them we got a $1,000 idea. Because I assume musicals don't make a lot of money. I don't know.
Broadway ones do.
Yeah.
Not right now. Hashtag support artists.
Yeah, Bandcamp's doing I guess this podcast will never come out before tomorrow because we have no idea what we're doing. But they're doing this Friday, the 20th, they're getting rid of their proceeds. Everything goes towards the band. So all these bands that got their tours canceled and are broke now, go buy their stuff on Bandcamp. Do it. Support art. Keep America weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to move to next. I think we've
Yes.
beat the dusty trail pretty well.
On the trail to Oregon. We're Broadway bound in
See, because
Oregon.
we did Tori's first, Tori gets to pick now what she wants to talk about.
I mean, we started with the T. Let's go to the L. Luke.
Okay.
Let's talk about yours.
Chat pile. What did you guys think? Enjoyed it in general, or no?
So it's only 4 songs, which I was surprised about.
Yeah, just an EP.
Yeah. So I have notes about the individual songs. The first one. So I was listening to music in the shower, and then I just got out of the shower, paused my music, and then I was texting y'all. And then I just put that one on my phone and started playing it, and I got scared.
Oh, okay.
My phone was up too loud to be listening to screamo music. I had to jump onto it and be like, ah!
Benny, your thoughts?
I think the guitar work was very interesting. It was... I don't even know what genre I would really call it. It's definitely, noise rock is right. But, it was very sparse. It was...
It wasn't yeah, I get what you're saying. A lot of noise stuff is just, wall of sound. There's so much going on, cranked up so much. You could still pick out the bass and guitar and stuff, but it was still just, abrasive.
I guess looking at the logo, I expected kind of more, I would say, something like metal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have that very...
The black metal, or...
Yeah.
Not lyric. Christ almighty, what am I... Font. The black metal font.
Yes.
My overall note is I cannot understand a goddamn word out of that man's mouth. He needs to enunciate.
Okay, well, I have some of the lyrics up, and most of it's just kind of a humoristic, a humorous, nihilistic sort of slant. What do we got? So the songs were Face, Rainbow Meat, Rat Boy, and Crawl Space.
What celebrity did they reference in Crawl Space?
Drew Carey.
Yeah, Drew Carey
Yeah,
on
so I
the
was like,
TV.
oh.
I love Whose Line. I loved that they referenced Whose Line Is It Anyway?
That song, like the first portion was basically it was from the perspective of I guess an Oakland City police officer. The lyrics were, all I want to do is keep the peace on the streets of OKC. That's all I want to do. All I want to do is do my job and keep everyone safe. I swear I signed up for this job with pure purpose. I swear to you that. But my dark urges keep invading my brain. So yeah, I'm in the garage working on my abs. Swanson in the microwave. Single dad. Serving Jesus Christ every day of my life. Took an oath with the OKCPD when I was 25. All I want to do is be a good person. All I want to do is do right by my fellow man. All I want to do is do right because there's a dark purpose in my head. You know what I think? I'll be lifting weights all night long. Hungry man, Drew Carey on the TV. Whose line is it anyway? Whose line is it anyway?
Yeah,
and then it cuts to a part about, like, as a child, him and his brother found a stray dog and cut its throat and dissected its body and buried it behind the woodshed and waiting for the end, waiting for mass extinction, quiet Earth. And then the song just, like, blares out and ends.
Yeah, I hated
the dog part.
that
Was
dog
a real
part.
tonal shift for me. Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
I hated that dog part.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, it's dark and awful. But, like, I really liked it sounds like someone having a breakdown. This whole album sounds like someone having a complete mental breakdown. And it's this man saying, like, I'm a normal person. I eat my Swanson microwave, watch Drew Carey. I'm a normal person. All I want to do is do good and keep the peace. And when I was 15, I cut a dog up and buried it behind the woodshed. And all I want to see is see my face cut open and see my body like, it just sounds like a mental breakdown.
Yeah, so I couldn't understand what he was saying, so here's how my notes go. Found a dog. He needs to enunciate. I can teach him how. I've got some tongue and lip stretches. 20 hours. This is me trying to figure out what the last lines were. 20 hours mystification. Mad asphyxiations. Mesidipello. So. It's just scribbles, because I literally could not understand what the fuck he was saying.
That last part was waiting for the end, waiting for quiet Earth, mass extinction, slaughterhouse.
I will say my favorite song was Rat Boy.
I like Rat Boy.
Simply because he screams about rat boys, and that's me at all the men in my life.
It's what I think Rat Boy is not so much a metaphorical interpretation. It's a literal, like, rat person that hides in your house under your bed or under your couch and chewing on nibblins.
Yeah, what is the first word he says? Is it cow?
Come. It's come.
Oh, I thought it was
He
go
just
or
shouts
cow.
the word come.
Okay, well now I'm looking at these lyrics. You come home, I leave breadcrumbs, semen, watching you sleeping, rat boy.
I don't think it's I don't think it's I leave breadcrumbs. It's you come home, I leave breadcrumbs, semen, watching you sleeping, rat boy.
Yeah, I didn't understand any of that while it was happening. I just I didn't even think I was supposed to be listening to the lyrics.
I don't even know if you should. I mean, like, if you want to get deep into it, I want to say it's like a joke band, because it's not a joke band. They seem very serious about this, but it's like it's a nihilistic talking about this awful stuff, but it's still funny to listen to. Like, rat boy.
Yeah, that's the only part.
You can't not laugh at that.
I did draw a cute little picture of a rat.
Now, My one problem with this album is, for the rest of my life, anytime someone mentions the fast food establishment Arby's, I can no longer think, oh, I enjoy their curly fries, or I could go for a roast beef. I think, send my body to Arby's. Which, I don't know if you guys caught that, but like that was the main refrain for the song Rainbow Meat.
I couldn't understand a goddamn word of Rainbow Meat.
It was, just send my body to Arby's. Cut me into thin slices. Cut me into microscopically thin slices of meat. Human flesh slider combo. Send my body to Arby's.
Oh, okay, so that makes sense because I did write down send my body what?
Oh, to Arby's, yeah. But like the idea that I gleaned from it was like a dystopian Midwest America where it's like, oh, we're going out to eat tonight on the town. We could go to Arby's or Wendy's or the Chinese place. Like, you know, that kind of small town idea where there's nothing, there's no one. The opium epidemic ruined this place. But this is a dystopian future where, like, you send your body to Arby's when you die. That's what's left. You ship the meat off there, and they'll take care of it. That seems very abstract, and this isn't making much sense anymore. I'm going on a diatribe, and I've lost the train.
How common are lyrics like this in this type of music? Like, is it always, like, kind of...
I don't really think this is all that common, and that's why I really like this. It's like some new shit. Like, this Chat Pile has been around for about a year. They put out this album in middle of 2019, or EP, and then they put out one more EP after that, and then nothing else yet. They're supposed to be working on new music or playing live shows, but they're nothing, basically. And then the last song, Face, was just, you know, like...
Wait, was Face the last song?
Sorry, the last song, the first song on the EP, but we went backwards through the track list.
Okay.
The first song was... I mean, the easiest words to pick out, I would think, would be I am an alien in my own skin. My body don't want me. Sounds like I am uncomfortable in my own body, taken to the next level where, like, you know, normally it's like, oh, I'm anxious or I'm depressed or I'm like feeling off, but this is like on a level above that.
I didn't understand a goddamn word in this song.
Really?
Nah.
Maybe it's just since I'm more into this music, but like even the first time I listened to it, I picked out like, oh, send my body to Arby's? That's weird. Human flesh, slider double. Like I can hear that and make words of it.
I would pick up maybe a word every couple. Like, it was definitely, I was never getting phrases.
No, the song I think I understood the most was Rat Boy. And then Crawl Space, I have, so the line I got was, all I want to do is be a good person. I got Andrew Carey, whose line. And then the first line, all I want to do is pee on the streets?
No, all I want to do is keep the peace on the streets of OKC.
I like my version better.
All I want to do is urinate in public.
That's all I want.
That's all I want to do. And all I want to do is keep my job and keep everyone safe after I've urinated on the streets.
I just want to piss in the road.
Please don't fire me. Well, I think going forward, I might just have to pick stuff that you guys can understand.
No, I think it's fine. I liked looking up the lyrics now as opposed to doing it later, so that I have now I'm understanding it a little better, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would probably go back and give it another listen.
I've been, like, playing this so much over and over, I can't get enough of this. And now, anytime someone mentions Arby's, I feel the need to scream, send my body to Arby's. Or Drew Carey. Or whose line is it anyway? one of my other friends, I don't think you guys met Hambone, but like I showed this to him because he's into similar music, and
Did you say Hambone?
we were just Hambone. That's his nickname, of course,
Is
not
he
his
single?
real name.
I would love
Hambone.
to marry Hambone.
Yes, but someone brought up whose line is it anyway, and we both looked at each other and we said, "Whose line is it anyway?" And I can't not think of that or Arby's now.
That feels true to character. You're constantly thinking about whose line is it anyway, and also Arby's at any given moment.
That is on brand. That is me.
I'm always thinking about Orlando Bloom.
Oh. How's he doing?
He and Katy Perry just made an announcement.
Oh, are they dating?
Yeah.
They've been in for a while.
They've either just gotten engaged or she might be pregnant. I don't know. I just saw that he was in the news about it.
Good for Orlando Bloom.
I know.
And honestly, good for Katy Perry, too.
I find that funny because I think she looks a lot like Russell Brand.
She's got a type.
Yeah, I mean, we all do.
Do we?
Anyone who will love me.
Anyone who gives
Tori
me a
is
small amount
Tori's
of
type.
attention.
What's your type? People that don't give you attention?
I said it's people who give me a small amount of attention and then take it away, and then give it back in small doses and leave me wanting more. Which is problematic
Benny,
because
what's
that's
your
what I
type?
do too.
I'll let you know when I find out.
It's out there somewhere, I'm sure. So the last
It's
thing...
gotta be.
No, my true type is anybody funnier than I am, and that's why I've never met anybody.
So the last one, Yeah, No, I Know by a Macseal.
Yep. I did look it up. They are from Long Island. I was wrong about them being from Massachusetts. They are part of the long line of Long Island emo.
Long Island seems like a sad place. New York, too. Only sad people come from there.
And only sad people live here currently.
That's more what I was getting at. I bungled the joke. Thank you for picking it up for me, Tori.
You're welcome.
You saved it.
At my expense, I'll always make a joke. So first of all, a fun fact is that this one was uploaded on my birthday in 2017, May 5th.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm a Taurus.
What a fun fact.
Isn't it? Isn't that fun?
Would that have been your what birthday?
20th?
God, 2017.
19? Oh, I forgot you're a wee little baby.
No, what isn't...
I still think...
20, I just don't know how old I am right now.
Oh, okay.
Alright, I'm going to be 24 this year, 2020. So 2019, 23, 2018, 22. It would have been my 21st
You would have been turning
birthday.
21.
Yeah, I would have been fucking smashed. Off my ass.
As opposed to all your other previous birthdays?
Yeah, this last birthday was the tamest birthday. I had some friends in town, like, from Wyoming. I have, like, my best friend from high school. And they had just gotten back from their alma mater for college. Like, there was a big party in the weekend. And they got back, like, close to midnight. And I texted them, and I was like, do y'all want to go out? And they said, come up to us. And I was like, I'm not coming up to you. It's my birthday. But they all forgot that it was my birthday. And I didn't say it's my birthday. I was like, no, I want to go out near me. Mm. And so then they were like, okay, well, we're not going to go out. We're going to go to bed. And so I spent my birthday, like, midnight on my birthday, eating a baked potato on my roommate's bed. Which was very on brand. And they made
the only way it could have been worse was, like, a lean cuisine over the sink in the dark.
Just me crying into a lean cuisine.
That's where the salt flavor comes from, your tears.
Wait, have y'all heard about that company that sells salt made out of people's tears?
Oh.
And they have, like, different ones, like Tears of Joy, Tears of Sorrow, Tears of Heartbreak. Luke, it feels very metal, so I think you would like it.
That does sound kind of metal, but also I'm imagining the situation where someone, like, just got the call that, like, Grandpa passed, and then their first thought is, oh God, Grandpa, and their second thought is, wait a minute, gotta bottle this up. Let's get the glasses under the eyes, cry into that for a bit, and, ship it off, make some money. It's like donating platelets. So anyway, Yeah, No, I Know, a Macseal. Tell us the story, Benny. Give us the scoop. What's the deets? Give us the... Oh, what's the... They used to say it in, like, the straight dick. Like on...
They turn a phrase?
Yeah, it's like a hard-boiled cop from the 30s. Like, give me the straight dick. It was a joke, but that was a phrase.
I would say that Macseal is very... they definitely are very inspired by, like, you know, American football.
I was about to say,
like
everyone, American football.
And I would say one thing that I really enjoy about this album is kind of how sparse the lyrics are. It's just very, like, I think Twilight Fun Zone has just, like, a chorus and verse. What did you guys think of it?
I enjoyed it a lot. It sounded a lot like some of the other pop punk sort of stuff vocally. It sounded like the tone and inflection was like a lot of the pop punk stuff that I enjoy. All the like mathy breakdowns and fills where they just like got real complicated with it. I like those a lot. The tone. Did you guys watch Ed, Edd n Eddy as a kid?
Yes.
What the hell is that instrument that Double B plays?
Oh, God.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I literally was just rewatching Ed, Edd n Eddy like a couple months ago, too.
A pedal steel guitar. Okay. It sounded kind of like a pedal steel guitar or something off of like a Jim Croce album.
Oh, like I think it was a dobro, maybe?
Yeah.
Is a pedal steel guitar is the name of it. But lyric content and style wise, I'm gonna take you on a imagination journey.
I'm ready.
Bear with me.
Should I close my
We're
eyes?
in the future. It's the far
I closed
and
my eyes.
scientists at Cornell have developed a computer program that makes music.
All right.
But it needs like a seed, something to start it. So you just put in like a feeling, and someone goes up and types in, you know, that feeling of melancholy when you were remembering like a friend you used to be close with and you would like hang out every day, but ever since then you've grown like super far apart and it would feel really weird to even speak to them, but you're kind of like you want to reach out to them, but it'd be kind of weird. And I hit the enter button. This album is what popped up.
That's valid.
Like that, you know what I mean?
Like, we used to talk every day and now we don't, and I miss talking to you, but like, how do I be like, let's talk again, but also do I want to be like, let's talk again?
Yeah, because part of that separation is like, you know that you can't go back to the way it was. It's not the same.
Right?
I think Harry is definitely...
Harry was my favorite.
Would definitely have that feel to it. Oh, they all do, but I think Harry is definitely the most emblematic of that.
Yeah.
Harry was my favorite
The
one.
intro to Harry is probably my favorite, like, guitar work on the album.
The guitar work, I'm not I like music, but I'm not terribly technically proficient on anything about, like, tunings or whatever, but the sound of the guitar is, have you ever heard of, I assume you've heard of shoegaze? Have you ever heard of black gaze?
Yeah.
BLACKGAZE is like black metal and shoegaze, where it's like this usually heavy tremolo pick guitar, shriek vocals, blast beat drums, but there will be breaks in it where it's just like that real light, ethereal, like the guitar work on this. And it reminded me a lot of that. I think you might be into some like black gaze. I'll have to poke around some and see if there's any you might care for.
I think it had a very abrupt ending. I was listening to it while I was doing my makeup, and all of a sudden it stopped, and I was just like, wait, what?
It's over already.
Yeah, maybe I was just, like, really jamming and wanted more, but I was, like, very surprised when it ended.
Yeah, I mean, like, overall, I think this is a very enjoyable little EP. I'd definitely check out some more of their stuff.
It definitely does that thing that emo I think does real well, where it really somehow feels like nostalgia.
Yeah.
Then like even the cover art is like a kind of washed out photo. It kind of looks sort of
A place you once knew.
yes.
Other than that, that was all the notes I had on it. The vocals sounded a lot like I said, pop punk. Is this indicative of normal? Like, if I go grab a random emo album from 2 years ago, is this what I can expect, or is this?
I would say, for the most part, yes.
Like sonically, it's going to be very similar.
Exactly the vocals, but like it's that thing of where it's kind of pop punk vocals over that sort of ethereal guitar. But then bands like American Football, kind of, but not.
Yeah,
his I think are a little off from that.
Whenever I hear people talk about like emo, it's always either people talking about Panic at the Disco and aren't really into emo, or it's American Football. I don't really know a whole lot about American Football. I know there's a house on the cover of the album, and
I always compare like Panic at the Disco and Fall Out Boy and the sort of Warped Tour bands to like emo's hair metal phase.
Okay. Was there still emo happening while the pop punk emo was happening?
Yeah, and it's not even that I don't consider that emo. It's just a more
Specific.
exaggerated version. But there was still like underground bands. I think like Philadelphia had a very big scene and places like that.
Is that a thing where like I guess emo would be even more specific because in metal there's a weird thing like if you go to Florida's got a big death metal scene. Like this place has a big thrash scene like Oakland, California. Is that a thing in emo or is it just pocket emo?
Sort of. I would say like sometimes they'll call a specific type like Midwest emo because it was very popular in like Illinois and Missouri and those kind of places. But I can't really pick out like if you play me something, I can't be like, oh, they must be from this area.
What would you say produces more emo, like cities or rural areas? Because cities are more musically inclined. That might just be a generalization, but the sadness is out in the Great Plains of Tori's home state of Nevada.
Say it to my fucking face, Luke.
I think it's the suburbs. I think city in that, like, it's kind of, you need the city to then have the suburbs. And I feel like that's where it kind of grows from.
A side note, off topic, currently Ticket to Ride on Steam is 50% off. And that might be a fun thing to play.
Because we're on quarantine!
Because they have online versions of that. I'm purchasing it
There's
right
also Tabletop Simulator, which different versions of.
We have Ticket to Ride on Steam. It's a lot of fun.
Well, I'm buying it right now. It's on sale.
Think. And I mean, that's all I have about album. Is there anything else you wanted to throw? We've about covered.
Yeah, I'm pretty fucking hungover still. I think I'm gonna die.
Well, get you some liquid. Get you some fresh air out on your fire.
I had coffee and a LaCroix.
And then I guess we've got plenty of time on quarantine, so if you guys want to send me something else to listen to or watch next week or next whenever, well, you guys can watch Sleep by Andy Warhol, and we'll talk about that and reconvene after.
Oh shit! I feel like I've seen that.
Okay.
That was a joke. It's an 8-hour movie of a man sleeping.
Oh, okay. I've seen it at the Andy Warhol Museum. I mean, I didn't obviously watch all of it, but
Located?
Right. What was that, Benny?
And where's that museum located?
Pittsburgh.
Have you never been?
I've never been to the Andy Warhol now.
It's pretty good. I mean, like, when I was younger, I was always like, ooh, modern art, so pretentious. Put a toilet in an exhibit, and it's like, oh, once you get the background of all this sort of stuff, it makes sense. And I'm just being, but it's very interesting going through, looking at all of the art and finding the moment. Like they explain, like, oh, after this piece was when Andy Warhol got shot. One tried to kill him. Was it a John Lennon situation? Like crazed fan thought it would impress someone. I don't know the details.
Sorry, say that again.
No. What do you know the details of the attempted assassination of Andy Warhol?
No.
Well, I'll look it up later, whatever. But he got shot, and then it goes from, the silver cloud room, like the big silver balloons just bouncing around, and goes from that to prints of like a gun on sheet metal and like a rusty hatchet and stuff like that. And it was like, oh, okay, yeah, this checks out. Or did you hear about when Andy Warhol was alive, he had sealed a bunch of things inside, like those cardboard boxes you use for organizing files. It's like taped them up, wrote a date on it, and put them away to like the archive. And then after he died, they started going through them and archiving them. And there was someone whose job it was to be at the Andy Warhol and go through these boxes one by one and meticulously take things out and note. Because some of the stuff was like, oh, he did drawings, he did little doodles. And some of them were like his used tissue, literally a bag of garbage, just like stuff like that, where he knew that someone would have to go through all of it because he's Andy goddamn Warhol. He's important and he's famous, and there's might be missing art in here. And they have to catalog his broken pencils. Someone gets paid to do that 8 hours a day.
That's very funny.
So, like someone's entire job is an installation art piece. Anyway, I think that about wraps up.
So, how do we sign off?
Well, this has been John Rye. Should we go in order? I think we should go in order.
Benny.
Oh, Christ, she blew it immediately.
What? Sorry, somebody commented on my Facebook.
Jeez.
Alright.
We're signing off.
You can't wait 30 seconds?
My phone vibrated. My brother texted me and was like, can you call me? My friend Hannah was like, can you call me? Why do people want to talk to me? I am but a simple idiot.
All right.
I'm doing it right now.
I suddenly don't want to anymore. I don't get with the appeal.
Hey, you can't take away the attention. I'll fall in love.
We're signing off. We're making a sign off. The first way we do it is how we're going to stick with it for the rest of forever.
Oh no!
Which is apparently this now. This 2-minute diatribe.
You say our names and you get a text.
This 2-minute diatribe is how we have to sign off every single time. So let's take it from the top. Are you ready, Tori?
I guess.
Okay.
I'm Tori.
I'm Luke.
Wait, this isn't in order, though.
Jesus, we're done. And this has been BLT on Rock.
I thought we were going in order.
We are! You're the king!
Fuck.
Oh, Lord.
Alright, Benny, you start. Be the bee.
He did!
Oh, I didn't hear it.
I think this is how it ends. The
God.
second time we bungle it, we just cut it off after that.
End this podcast and end my existence.
Alright, I'm gonna hit the stop button on my
Alright, same. Goodbye.